What's up, brothers? This is your brother G World 7 underscore D. I'm gonna make a quick video. It's a quick one. Look, I always say I want brothers and sisters to continue to learn their true history, and you must do that because most of these charlatans online and a lot of these your educators are teaching you that you came here 500 years ago, and then you take these little goofy DNA tests and say you come from this African tribe or this African country. Them countries didn't exist 500 years ago. Them damn tribes didn't exist 500 years ago, man. Them tribes not even ancient, dude. But yeah, you Negroes believe that because you have this affinity that you was a slave, and there's a lot of this deification and worshiping of Africa. We've been conditioned, and it started with them damn Negroes in the 60s, man. And they've caused damage and hell and messed up our people's mind. There's some people before that, but basically that push was going hard in the 60s. And they had polluted the minds of our people to think that we're foreigners in our own land. Even when you talk about reparations, you get these clowns talking about it's for descendants of African slaves. Negro, most of our people are already here. When you say you're an Aboriginal and you reclassify and it's your land, and people stole your land and your identity, that's more weight than say you are a foreigner. When you continue to say you descended of African slave, you're saying you originally came over as a foreigner. And some of you Negroes enjoy that. Some of you Negroes want to go crying to white folks, white liberals, claim them that they're your friends, and you want to continue to push that slave narrative. And white folks don't feel threatened by you. They don't feel threatened by that Pan-Africanism because you're always talking about Africa, 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 and ignore the fact that you're Aboriginal to this damn land in America. And I'm so tired of the Umar Johnsons. I'm so tired of some of these little Negro stories. All they do is talk about African stories. And I don't study the Olmec culture. I could care less about the Olmecs. That didn't mean nothing to me. Why do we concern about the Olmec's race? Why do we take indigenous people as Negro? That's our history. You idiot. That's our history. But see, when you listen to morons like that, who claim to be educated, you're being miseducated by a person who's miseducated themselves. In my videos, I show a parallel between a lot of the black people in different lands because they traveled. Like I said, I had one idiot came to my channel and said I didn't know what I was talking about, saying that those European blacks were Africans. He said they were Africans. Those weren't no damn Africans. Those are Aboriginal black Europeans. See, I know my history. That idiot don't know anything. That was obviously a white troll, an idiot white person who think they know better. They think they can teach me my history, which shows you how arrogant and ignorant they are. Bunch of bastards. Or some stupid Pan-African. But the arrogant, ignorant white person who want to come in here and think they can teach you their history better than you, it's insulting. And want to call those people African, which is really insulting because those so-called Africans, which they weren't Africans, but those black people had those crown images of royal families of royal lineage. Why would you have foreigners just come over there and they'll be of all the royal family and the lineage and build all the goddamn castles? Those are the damn Aboriginal Negroes who are already there. But the stupidity of many people, because every time they see somebody with a certain physical structure, they instantly will make them African. And so they use that title African in lands outside of Africa, so they already announce the person of being a foreigner when they're not a foreigner when they're Aboriginal to that land. So when they dig up something and they see something that's been there for 40,000 years and they're Aboriginal to the land, but they classify that person as African, they classify that person as a foreigner when they weren't a foreigner in the first damn place. So you got to pick up on these lies what they do. And unfortunately, many Negroes who have been heavily educated and indoctrinated by that BS will continue to tell you that lie. I show you the images of the Mali. I show you the images of the Anasazi, the rock carving, the cutting to rock. I said over and over again, Those are similar because those are the same Negroes. Negroes travel around the world. They use like the Mississippi in America into the different tributaries to this Mississippi, like the Colorado River or the Missouri River or the Ohio River. As they travel about, and they right off of those river beds, they build mounds and other structures because they use the river channels to travel. That was an ancient highway. But see, you got these goofy Pan-Africans, man, who want to ignore this and use terms like pretendians and all that mess. All you have to do is study history. The original people of Peru couldn't have been pale skinned because the Peru heat index is so high. It gets real hot in Peru. It's genetically impossible for them to have been pale skinned Siberian people. There was obviously a Negro people who were there first. But see, some of you Negroes, you go to these schools, you get educated in these damn universities, you get your bachelor's degree, you get your master's degree, and you get your doctoral degree, and you're still ignorant. In fact, you're more ignorant. Because you're reading and you're thinking the way those individuals, quote, train you to do, when you should basically try to deviate and try to basically carve up the information and analyze the information that you're getting and start using common sense when most of these damn historians don't do that. So you constantly hear this mess like ADOS, American Descendant of Slaves, saying that you're a foreigner, that you was brought over here in a slave ship when your majority of people were reclassified, all right, and their land was stolen. That's more of a power phrase or a power move, saying that you're Aboriginal and saying that you're a damn slave from Africa. Over and over in my videos, I talk about how the Gullah Geechee are two different groups of people. Technically two different groups of people. But you hear these Negroes, they just one group of people from Angola. Those are two different groups, man. Two different groups. And you hear the name Geechee, Lenape, Kankakee, Malinche, Saniki, Tennessee, Mississippi, Kankakee. These names sound similar because those are the very different black tribes that broken up into different groups and then settled in different areas within this country, particularly in that southeast region. Those names are similar because those Negroes, those are very different broken off branches of those Negroes. And there's very different black groups that were here. And you see Geechee, and you have the Ogeechee River after the Yuchi Indians. And you look at the Yuchi Indians, those are some straight up Negroes, man. You have to learn your true history. Stop just thinking that you're a slave. Roots was a fraud. That was a fake. And Isaac, what's that guy named? Alice Haley was a plagiarist, man. He was a fraud. But still, some people use that as their playbook when it comes to our history, and that's a damn lie. The original white people who came to Americas were slaves. They were slaves of the powerful black empires who ruled. They were slaves. They were not masters, no discoverers. They were slaves. The original Europeans that came over here were melanated Negroes. The original Germans were Negroes. The original Russians were Negroes. The original people what is now known as Ukraine were Negroes. The people of all the British islands, Scandinavian islands were Negroes because the Vikings were Negroes. All these were Negroes. The Vikings were freaking pirates. I've said that over and over again in my videos. You're going to have to stop listening to these indoctrinated Negroes who graduated from the University of Michigan or Purdue or UCLA or Harvard. Don't listen to these Negroes, man, because they've been heavily indoctrinated and they're ignorant. They're very ignorant. And they will continue to lead you down to the pits of hell if you listen to these Negroes. So I beg of you, Do your own research and use common sense. Majority of our people were not brought over here in slave ships. Majority of our people were already here. Excuse me. Majority of our people sailed around the world. They sailed the seas. And they had different types of ships. I said this in other videos. To sail in certain, when they do certain things they do within the sea, they had different types of ships. That's how highly advanced they were. But some of our people are not ready for our real history. They're just not ready for it because we feel so been indoctrinated with this African slave stuff. And you start crying, I'm an African slave. We love our ancestors. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Some of you are not ready. You really are not ready. You just want to be a slave from Africa. You want to hang around your racist white liberal friends or conservative friends. You want to sit there and marry white women or men, have these little mixed kids. They come out confused, causing more confusion in the community. But yet you don't care about your true history. You just want to live the lie because you enjoy that, because you feel comfortable yourself. You little sellout. We're not going to get ahead. Listen to these mainstream celebrities. Listen to people like Henry Louis Gates or Cornel West. Call yourself ADOS. And all these little crazy ass terms say you descendant of slaves. No, you're aboriginal to this land. A lot of people not going to like me talking about the ADOS thing, but why the hell you call yourself you're a descendant of some damn slaves and say your history started here 500 years ago, which is a damn lie, because there's so much documented proof showing black people here for thousands of years. You keep saying that you're a descendant of a slave. Really? Many of our people do not want to study the truth because they realize everything they've been taught is a lie, and all their money that they pay for this education that they have is basically, it was a waste of time, a waste of money. And they're not all that smart like they think they are. Giving young black men bad advice, tell them don't date black women, or women giving black women bad advice, don't date black men. That's the most asinine, ignorant, dumbass stuff you can hear. But you had these Negroes online doing that. All of them need to dress like Bozo and put the little fake afro in their head and the red nose, and let me get some damn darts to throw it at their damn face and then hit them in the nose or hit them in the forehead. Those are idiots. You have to learn your true history. Do not listen to these mainstream Negroes. You must learn your true history. Do not listen to mainstream Negroes. Do not listen to them, because they've been compromised by individuals outside our community. All these other groups have hijacked our history and our culture. They're occupying lands and regions which were originally melanated people. Black people existed. Now that the black people are not there in large numbers, they want to paint over the real history or suppress the real history by putting the real images in vaults, and do not open it up for the public to see, because they want to put out fake images claiming that they've been in that region for thousands of years when those bastards haven't been around that damn long. But like I said, so many of our people are not ready for our true history. They're not ready. They're just not ready to understand that you had these great black civilizations on the other side of the world, all over the world, but particularly here in America. So many of the monuments are much older than the ones in Africa. Some of our people just can't fathom that because they cannot grasp that, because they've been taught that they're slaves from Africa. They bought into that Black Panther trash, that their movie was trash. But they bought into that type of nonsense as they want to deify and to worship Africa, but do not understand and study the black civilizations west, here in the West, and the black aboriginals of Europe, and the great monarchs and the castles they built there, and the rulership. Because all these images like you see of Charlemagne, King Charlemagne, King James, those are Negro people, man. Those are not white people. Ivan the Terrible, Constantine the First, the Second, those were Negroes. Those are not white people. The original popes, all of them were black. But you really had to study your true history.